Artificial intelligence is reshaping the world around us. It's changing the way we work, the way we learn, and it's also transforming the way we think about money. So here's the real question. In a future built on AI, stablecoins, and decentralization, where do you fit in? Because right now, banks, well, they're tied down. They're tied down to outdated legacy software. They're trying to keep up with innovation, but they can't move fast enough. The world around them is moving faster than they can move. Meanwhile, new technology like stablecoins is already rewriting the rules of finance. Have you heard of the Genius Act? Well, let me tell you a bit about it. The Genius Act is the government's first real attempt to catch up. They're building the framework for stablecoins so that they can finally have legitimacy. But here's the truth. We don't need to wait for banks, and we definitely don't need to wait for Congress to figure this out. People love crypto primarily because it's decentralized. Well, the infinite banking concept follows the same principle. It's your personal system of decentralization. It's where you control your money, not the banks. And now, with something that we built called the Vault, you're going to see how AI, artificial intelligence, is going to help you take back the power and the control and put it all to work in your own financial life. The future isn't coming someday, folks. I think you need to realize this. It's already here, and it's time for you to learn how to use it. Because if you don't, well, I'm sorry to say, you're not going to be behind, you are already behind. So let's just talk about the Genius Act. Well, the Genius Act was passed mid-2025, and it was the first major U.S. law regulating stablecoins. First off, let's start with some of the key rules that you have to understand. And I'm just going to keep this super high level. First off, it's 1-to-1. None of this 1-to-2, 1-to-3 stuff. It's $1 for a stablecoin. Very simple. And you got to look at it from reserve backing. You got to look at it as backed by cash or treasury bonds. There's going to be monthly audits. You got to have transparency. You got to have AML, and you got to have KYC compliance. Those are all the key things that banking will require. You're going to need legal protections put in place for holders in bankruptcy, just like you would with any other account. Stablecoins are not viewed as securities or commodities, and they're not regulated by the SEC. They're regulated by banking agencies. So why does all this matter? Well, it legitimizes stablecoins, and banks, fintech, and retailers, they can all adopt this. The big players, the JP Morgans, the Visas, the MasterCards, they're entering the space in a big way. Stablecoin transactions, they're already viral. Visa, MasterCard transactions are on the rise and massive. We got to talk about some of the goofy things, like there is no interest allowed. But there's loopholes that they're using and things like rewards that mimic it, DeFi gaps, limited consumer protections, and things like that. You're going to see a lot more of that come to light. You also got to look at the parallel of this to infinite banking concepts. People like crypto because it's decentralized. Well, the infinite banking concepts has always been decentralized. And it's always been decentralized for your personal finances. Banks profit from loans. IBC flips that, and you profit from loans. You keep the profits and the spread. The Genius Act shows that banks are chasing what infinite banking concepts already allows individuals to do. We've been doing this. The Vault, which is our proprietary system, it's a proprietary AI system built to simplify the infinite banking concepts. Think of it like a GPS or an operating system for your personal infinite banking system. It personalizes everything you're doing. It runs your numbers. It maps your goals. And it gives you direction on what you need to do to solve your problems. This is the future of BYOB. This is practical and usable today. Folks, this is not science fiction. Let me show you how the Vault works and how infinite banking already puts you ahead of the system. All right, Craig. Well, I know we've designed the Vault, but there's one unique thing in the Vault, and that is the use of AI. So can you talk a little bit about how we used artificial intelligence inside the Vault to really solve some massive problems for people?
Yes, and Chris, those problems come back from everybody wants access to get their question answered, and you literally have over 1,300, 1,500 videos out there. You have books, and so it's a lot to sort through. So wouldn't it be cool if our users had access to you 24/7 to ask any question they want of you and get a response in a similar fashion to how you would respond? So what we're talking about here is we've got this Chris AI built into the vault. And just imagine if you have a question, any time of the day, you can come in and ask things such as, how do policy loans work? And what this is going to do is go filter through all of the videos, all of the content that Chris has built over many, many years, and it's going to craft an answer for you and give you kind of a readout of, some of the important parts of answering your question. Now, at the end of the day, you might look at that and go, that's awesome, but I need more information. And so the first thing you could do is if you thought this was accurate, you can go ahead and click on yes, this was accurate, or give Chris some feedback on no, this wasn't accurate. But let's assume this is on track with what you're after. You can then click on more information. This more information is going to sort through all of the content and all the videos that Chris has put together, sorted by relevance, so that you can drill right into a video where Chris was talking about this or teaching about this particular topic. So now let's drill into an actual YouTube video that Chris AI pointed us to, where Chris is teaching and teaching us more about the infinite banking concept, how to pay loans back. Now, after you've gone through the videos, you can go back and you can see others if you want to look at other videos that maybe Chris was talking about loans. But throughout all of your questions that you've asked Chris, about how loans work, how can my policy be used to invest, you have all of your previous conversations here if you want to just jump right back into them and say, can I start with less than 10 times my age? Well, Chris has an answer for that as well. And he also has videos where he talks about that particular subject. Now, we not only have Chris AI inside of this, the vault, but we also have Christy Van, who is known for teaching velocity banking, one of the experts out there in helping people reduce debt, bring efficiency and speed into their debt payment. So Christy also has a lot of content, a lot of videos. So imagine you could go in and ask her questions any time of day, such as, what's the difference between a first lien and a second lien HELOC? That's a very common question that people have for Christy. And here it is. It's all laid out for you in Christy's the same way Christy would have shared that with you. And just like with Chris AI, you can drill in to more information and go into her videos as well. So I hope you find this useful, and go ahead and jump in there and ask Chris or Christy any question that you want.
So exactly what is the Genius Act? Well, it stands for Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act. It was introduced in the U.S. Senate, passed by Congress in mid-2025, and it's the first comprehensive federal framework for the regulation of stablecoin issuers. This is a landmark moment, folks. This is absolutely one of those moments that we're going to remember for digital money. So let's stop, okay? Let's make you the genius in your family. And I can do that by simply asking you one question. Are you subscribed to this channel? If you're not, click that subscribe button. There's a little bell up top. Oh man, smash that bell. Make sure when you smash the bell, you don't hit the computer and knock the computer down and break the screen. I wasn't kidding. I legit broke the screen. Try not to do that. Just click the button without the swing. Here's what the act requires. First, every stablecoin has to be backed 1-to-1 in cash or short-term U.S. Treasury bonds. The issuers must publish monthly audits and disclosures. Second, transparency and compliance are mandatory. Issuers have to follow AML and KYC rules, abide by sanctions, and operate under Bank Security Act. Third, it gives legal protections, meaning if a stablecoin issuer goes bankrupt, stablecoin holders actually get priority over other creditors. That's key, and that did not exist prior. And fourth, payment stablecoins are not securities or commodities. You see, they're excluded from the SEC and CFTC oversight, and instead they fall under banking regulations. It's already gaining traction. You see, big banks like JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Visa, MasterCard, all of them are exploring stablecoin products, and the scale is massive. Stablecoin transactions already rival and in some cases exceed the volume running through Visa and MasterCard. Let that sink in. And projections show that the growth is going to accelerate way past that. Of course, no law is perfect. The Genius Act forbids issuers from paying interest directly. I found this strange, but the exchanges are still offering rewards that mimic interest. This could pull deposits away from traditional banks in a big way. There's also gaps in decentralized exchanges, what some call DeFi gaps, meaning the government may not be able to freeze illicit funds. This is still being worked on, but I think they'll find a solution to it. And finally, there are no consumer concerns, no FDIC-style insurance, so the hidden risks and the questions about what happens when things go wrong. So why should you care? And well, why do I care? Because the Genius Act, first off, signals a shift. It's a shift away from centralized systems and a shift toward regulated decentralization. That mirrors exactly what the infinite banking concept is all about. You see, with IBC, you don't wait for the banks to figure it out. You step into a decentralized, self-directed financial model, and you do that now. With banks scrambling to keep up with stablecoins, the infinite banking concept already puts you in control, and it puts that control in your hands. But here's the kicker. The name itself, the Genius Act, is almost marketing for what we teach. You can own your own system. You are your own bank. You innovate with smart tools like the Vault, and it's not a dream, it's not the future, it's here right now. So what's the big takeaway? Well, the infinite banking concept, it's not a theory anymore. It's a system. It's a system you can use to take back control of your money by you simply becoming your own bank. Take their rules and apply them in your life for your system. Whether it's paying off debts, financing cars, or navigating the new world of banking, the principle is the same. Stop making banks rich and start building your wealth your way. And if you want to go even deeper and you don't want to miss what's coming next, well, in this next video, what we're doing is we're going to break down the secrets of the rich, the strategies the wealthiest families have used for generations to protect their wealth, multiply their money, and be in control. So click through, join me there, and let's keep unlocking the tools the wealthy don't want you to know about, but now you do. Thanks for joining. We'll see you there.